Damion, the Pirates are coming off of an interesting stretch. They had Thanksgiving, a chance to decompress a little bit, a exhibition game at Carroll College, who was the runner-up in the NAI last year, and then a track meet with the alumni. So take us back through the last couple of weeks with this team and dealing with a situation like we have with Jordan Lester and his injury and the transition for this squad going forward.
Yeah. Well, even just going into the season, I knew this would be an interesting stretch. Just kind of the nature of the calendar and Division III scheduling when the opening weekend was. We ended up with a time basically, between just before Thanksgiving through finals where we had a couple of games that were exhibitions, and so it felt like a longer stretch between contests that count on the win-loss. So I knew that was going to be interesting. Obviously, Jordan went down with an injury when we were in St. Louis, so that kind of created some transition for us just from a rotation standpoint. You're 3 weeks in and kind of establishing the norm of what rotations are, and then you have Jordan going out, and at the same time Garrett Hall returning from his injury, and he's working his way back in. So we've been in actually a good time to have exhibition contests so that we can kind of work through some of those ups and downs that come with figuring out new roles and redefining what we need to get out of everybody. But we went to Carroll. That's a great program. They're a very, very tough program. Like you mentioned, they were national runner-up last year, and we were their first home game of the season. And I thought we did a great job for a good half of the game. We were down one at half, and I actually thought we probably could have been up more than that had we just executed a few different things defensively that we didn't get done in the first half. And they're a team that is very talented and take advantage of every little mistake that you make, and that's kind of what we saw in the second half when they opened it up a bit. But it was a great learning experience for our guys. Some of the personnel that we had to go against, I think it was important for us to learn how to defend, and so good learning lessons. And then we had the alumni this weekend, which is, that's an awesome event. It's you kind of go into it with a full heart. You're sitting there watching all these guys that you went to battle with for years and won and laughed and cried and went through all of the spectrum of emotions with. So to have them back and an opportunity to compete against them, and they put together a great squad. A lot of young guys. You don't always get guys that aren't only a few years out that maybe still have the conditioning and very, very offensive, talented team. There are just tons of all-conference guys, all-American guys on that squad, and they ended up getting the best of us on a buzzer beater, which again was a little bit humbling, but great learning experience for our guys, and had some opportunities to kind of mess with some lineups a little bit and try a few different things out, and so again, great experience. You learn from every opportunity that you get out there to compete. So looking forward to preparing for our next opponent.
Before we get to our next opponent,
Yeah.
This is your first finals week that you're going to have to navigate as a head coach. Just talk about how you take this team through this upcoming week.
Well, we gave, nowadays, as rigorous as finals are, it seems like the week before is just as rigorous. So we took an extra day off this last week because a lot of guys had important tests or presentations or things like that. We've got today off again. Tomorrow's when finals start. So you just try and give them a couple opportunities when you can to be able to study and be dedicated to the academics, and then the tough part is you ask them then on the other days to come in and compartmentalize. Do my best to keep our practices shorter and sweet so that their time commitment away from the books isn't as much this week. But you just got to focus in when we're there together and doing basketball, and then get out and get back to the library.
Yep. Week from tonight, back to a real meaningful counting game. Mary Washington coming to the Whitworth Fieldhouse. What do we know about them?
really good team. You know, they have good athleticism. They have good skill. You know, I think again, they play with a good freedom to the way that they play. I think it'll be a great challenge. I think you know, there's some mirror to a certain degree in the way that they play, and that can be good or that can be bad. But you know, we put together the schedule. We knew we were gonna, on paper, have good opponents, and they've had a great start to their season, so they're living up to their end of the bargain, and so I'm excited about the challenge. It'll be nice to have another home game. It feels like it's been a bit away, so even if our students are gone, we get great community support, so it'll be fun to get back at it.